Hey, it's Lucas, and today we're going to be trying Sugar Bomb Punch from Clearleaf for the first time. So this is brand new to UK Medical. There's been a few new flowers from Clearleaf, but this is the one that stood out to me the most. Sugar Bomb Punch, it sounds really nice, and it's also non-irradiated, so hopefully this is going to be smelling good, looking good, and tasting good. So according to Leafly, Sugar Bomb Punch is a hybrid strain made from a complex genetic cross between THC Bomb and Critical Orange Punch crossed with Bubba Island Kush. It's supposed to be 30% according to Leafly, but on the bag it says 21%. Obviously it varies. Also according to Leafly, this is an indica dominant hybrid with 30% sativa and 70% indica. We're going to start out by going through the packaging. This is what the front looks like. You might not be able to see because of the reflection, but it's a plain white bag with a pink label that says Clearleaf SBP T21. There's THC is 20.69%, CBD is 0%, cultivar Sugar Bomb Punch, genetics Critical Orange crossed with THC Bomb. I don't know if you can hear that, but someone's running water and it's really fucking loud, I'm sorry. This is a 10 gram bag. There's a little QR code somewhere on the front. I actually can't see because I'm looking at the back of the bag right now, but all the information on the front is also, cover my prescription label, flip it over, it's also on the back here, and it's a lot easier to read than it is on the front. It says manufacturer name Sinceritas AD, GMP license number, I'm not going to read that out, manufacturing date 26th of the 2nd 2024, LOI number, I don't know what that means, packaging date was 21st of the 5th 24, and it expires on 26th of the 7th 2025. So I don't know, I'm just guessing here, but when it says manufacturing date 26th of the 2nd 24, I'm going to assume that's when it was cut and then it was dried, and the packaging date was 21st of the 5th 2024, so I'm assuming between the 2nd and the 5th it must have been drying. Don't quote me on that, I'm just guessing. I don't know why they've done that by putting it on the back again, but like I said before, it's a lot easier to read than it is on the front. This is a lot of information, whereas on the back it's very simple. Not sure if I've mentioned this already, I don't think I have. You can see very clearly that it's in a bag. I'm very happy that it's come in a bag and not a pot, because the prescription pots just have this horrible fucking plastic smell to them that it doesn't matter how long your bud is in a glass jar, it just doesn't go away. So I'm super glad it's in a bag and not a pot. So let's just get right into this. Rip off. Oh fuck, I fully just punched my light trying to rip the top off this, so I do apologise for that. I can smell this already even though I haven't opened up the Ziploc yet. That smell is really interesting. On opening it up, I got hit in the face with gas, nose sting, and then when I went back in and I fully put my nose right in the bag, I got a lot of sweetness, but definitely what I am getting above the sweetness is a gassiness first and foremost. I was not expecting that. So looking up the lineage of this strain, it makes sense why it's gassy. I can't find the parents of THC Bomb, but it is supposed to be earthy and piney and citrusy. I'm assuming that the orange side of it is going to be citrusy and the Bubba Island Kush is going to be dank and like Kush. It is sweet. I am getting a sugary sweet smell, but I'm also getting the dankness to it. It honestly, for me, in my opinion, is a really good balance. I'm not the biggest fan, should I say. I'm not a biggest fan. I'm not the biggest fan of dank, sort of piney, nose stingy, Kush sort of smells, but I do like the sweet smells. This is making the pininess, the earthiness, the cushiness, it's like it's been coated in sugar and citrus, and that is making it really attractive to me. It smells really nice. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. I was pushing a 7.75, but I think it's just a 7.5 for now as whole nugs. Moving on to the looks, I'm quite happy with how this looks. If I got this on the street, I would be expecting to pay my usual price, which is around $1.40 on the ounce. This is £6 a gram, so if you get an ounce, what's that, 60, 120, 180, take away 12 is 168, so you're looking about 168 for the ounce of this. I wouldn't pay that on the street to get this personally, but for the price, £60 per 10 grams is not bad at all for medical. It looks good so far, it smells good. The nugs are medium sized with, it looks like they're almost foxtailing. They look kind of sativa leaning to me, which is interesting. When I get into vaping this, it'll be nice to see whether it is more sativa or more indica dominant based on the looks and also the cross and the smell. Honestly, I think I just need to medicate because it's really hard to talk right now. So for the looks of this, I'm going to give it a 7.75. It's very, very nice looking. It's not the best looking UK medical I've had. That goes to the Lumiere Crumbled Lime 10. If you want to go check that out, do it after this video. That looked absolutely amazing. I gave it a 10 out of 10. This, however, it doesn't look as good, but it still does look very, very good. So I'm teetering on an 8, but I'm going to leave it a 7.75 for now. So I gave it a 7.5 for the whole nugs. Now ground up, I was expecting it to be sweeter, but to me it actually smells more dank. The sweetness has taken a step back, and the earthiness, the pininess, and the nose stingy, just dankness in general is what overtakes it. Last night I was smoking on some mimosa, so my grinder still smells like mimosa. It's very, very strong smell. It is overpowering this right now, so I don't feel like I can rate it fairly, but it's definitely taken away the sweetness, increased the earthiness, the pininess, the nose stinginess. I didn't really get an overwhelming pininess from the whole nugs, and I'm not getting an overwhelming pininess from the broken down nugs, but it's definitely there, and that's the only thing that I can really attribute the nose stingy sort of dankness to. It's still sweet, but not nearly as sweet as it was as whole nugs, in my opinion, right now. I don't like it as much ground down, so I'm just going to leave it at the 7.5. It's not bad, I just don't like it as much. So when I picked this, I wasn't sure whether I wanted to use it as a daytime strain or as a nighttime strain. It's not the strongest at 21% THC, and it is a hybrid, but it is indica leaning, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to be using it as a daytime or a nighttime strain yet. It is currently 5:45 at night, so smoking it now, well, vaping it now, I'm going to see whether it is a nighttime strain or a daytime strain. The way that I like to medicate when I try my new strains is I'll start out at 160 to try and get a few flavorful hits, and then I'll just step it up 10 degrees every time my vape vibrates. The taste at 160 is very interesting. It's not super sweet immediately. When you exhale, there's no vapor whatsoever. Even after a few hits, no vapor at 160. The flavor is slightly sweet, but mostly, I don't really know how to describe it. It's not super sweet. It's a little bit citrusy, and it feels like the edges of my tongue have got like a tart feeling there, but I was expecting it to be a lot sweeter. It's really not. Usually, even if it's only just the tiniest little bit of vapor, there is some vapor. With this, at 160, nothing. At 170 you start to get some vapor, but it is very, very thin. It's not thick vapor at all, and the flavor is pretty much non-existent. I'm not getting any sweetness whatsoever. It tastes kind of vegetal, like, I can't even think about how to describe it, but it tastes nothing like what you would imagine the parents of this strain to taste like. I'm not getting much, if any, citrus. There is no sweetness whatsoever, and it's more like, it just tastes like vegetables. I would say it tastes like boiled broccoli more than it tastes like anything right now. This is the first time I've tried it, so, you know, maybe it's just not coming through, but I'm not getting a very good first impression. I had really high hopes for this, and I'm disappointed so far. Even at 180, I'm getting hardly any vapor, and the flavor now is just not there at all. It tastes like vaped bud, so I'm just going to boost it up to 210 to see if I get any flavor whatsoever, or a thicker cloud, just anything really. This has been so disappointing. I was expecting this to be really, really good. It seems like we're getting better looking bud, we're getting better smelling bud, but for some reason we just can't get any terps. Even on the non-irradiated bud, there's just no fucking terps, and it's really, really disappointing. £60 is not bad. It looks good, it smells alright. It's just a shame that even on the most expensive bud that I've tried, barring the Atomic Sour Grapefruit, that's got a really nice flavour, the rest of it just doesn't taste like anything. So like I said, we're going to try out 210 now. At 210 there's still next to no vapor. This is just not producing enough vapor for me personally. I feel like I'm taking big hits. I vape through a water pipe, so I'm getting big lungfuls, and there's just not much vapor, and the vapor that I am getting is very, very harsh. It's dry, it's making me cough. It's just not a pleasant experience, to be honest. I will say though, at 210 on the nose exhale, I get almost a sweet floral flavour, which is quite pleasant. It makes a difference to just the flavour of vaped bud all the way through. I don't know why. Maybe this sort of flowery terp is coming out at 210. It might just be me, but in general, as a rule, all the way through, there's not been a lot of flavour, there's not been a lot of vapour. I do feel pretty good though In fact, let's talk about the effects now. I managed to get 2 big hits right towards the end of the capsule, but it was literally 2 normal size hits that I would get, and then the rest there was hardly any vapor there. It might be me, I might have packed the capsule just a little bit too tight, but I honestly don't think I did that. I'm just trying to think of any reason why the vapor might not have been produced. Could be my fault, but I don't think it is. I just don't think it vapes very well, to be fair. So for a bit of context, I had some mimosa about 9:30 this morning, and then nothing until I started making this video. So there's been about 8 hours in between my first medication and this medication. I can definitely feel it behind my eyes. There's the warmness, it's not hot, but I can feel the warmth behind my eyes, and then my eyes are also trying to squint. It's hard to speak. I feel like my speech is slurred. I don't feel super energetic, but I do feel uplifted and happy. I don't really know what is the word for, like, you're not energetic, but you kind of want to, like, fuck about a bit. You kind of want to move a little bit. Like, you could, the thing that I've got in my head is just annoying somebody. Like, I feel like I want to annoy somebody, just hit them around the head and push them a little bit and just fuck about with them and wind them up. That's the kind of feeling that I get from this. Like, it's a very sort of playful, happy. It's not, I don't feel relaxed, but I do feel calm. It's like, I feel like this would be good for me to have in social situations, because I want to talk to people. Like I said, I want to annoy somebody, but I don't want to be going on big long treks, you know. If you go out with people and you might go for a wander and smoke some weed and shit like that, or vaping meds and stuff like that, but I don't feel like I want to go out and do stuff. I feel like I very much want to just stay in my house. In fact, after this, I'm going to go sit down and play some Stardew Valley, and I feel like I could concentrate on that game after vaping this. It's not spacey. Like, I know that I just stared off for a second there, but it's not like a spacey high. But I do very much want to just sort of, I could very happily just stare at the wall for a little bit right now. It feels almost like the sativa side of it boosted me initially, and the more that I've just kind of been stood here thinking about how I feel, like I've suddenly got a very warm feeling at the base of my neck, like behind my ears as well, and I feel like it feels like I'm just being relaxed now. I can actively feel the relaxation spreading out from here, like the base of my neck, not the base of my neck, like the base of my head, where my neck meets my head. I don't know if any of this is making sense, but yeah, like I'm feeling the relaxation spread down my shoulders, and I can also feel weight in the bottoms of my heels as well. So this feels quite nice, you know. I feel pretty good right now. I'm not gonna lie, I do feel very nice. But also, in the same vein, like, I found this very difficult to vape. It was harsh. It was dry, even through a water pipe, even at low temperatures. There wasn't a lot of vapor, and there was no flavour, and I feel like it would be so much easier for me to consume my medication via vaporizer, which I do anyway, but it would just make it easier for me to do it if it's going to be dry, if it's going to make me cough, at least give me some good flavour, because it's very unappealing when you know that you need to vape your meds, but you also know that it's not going to taste like anything and it's going to make you cough a lot. So in the long run, it's good and it's beneficial, but like, it's just not an enjoyable experience. It might be different. Like, I've had a bit of a cold recently, my chest has been bad, so that is definitely contributing to it. And maybe as I get through this pack, as I go through the 10 grams and, you know, as I vape through it, it might not be as harsh. But for a first impression, I'm not looking forward to vaping more of it purely for the vaping it. I want the effects, because right now I feel good. And I don't know if any of my thoughts are coherent, but it's getting harder to speak I feel like the indica side of it is definitely coming out now, and I just kind of want to relax. All that chattering, I could still definitely speak, but I don't really want to annoy anybody anymore. Like, all of a sudden, it's like it's not really heat, but it just feels like relaxation. It's spread forward from the base of my neck over. I can feel it like in my jawbone here, which is quite weird. And it's sort of like when I do this, now my arms feel heavy. This feels really nice. I'm not gonna lie, this feels incredible. This is really good, but actually getting the medication into my body, not good. Didn't like that bit. So let's jump into the first impression rating. Is that the way that I'm sure that's not how I usually say that, but I genuinely can't think right now. Looks 7.5. If I got this on the street, I wouldn't be mad, but I wouldn't be paying £60 per 10 grams for it. Definitely not. So it's getting there, it's getting better on the looks end, but I still don't want to pay that much for it. £60 I guess is alright for this. You know what, let's keep it at £60. Like, it doesn't bother me. Definitely don't raise the price on this because it's not worth any more than that. But I would say 55 would be lowballing it. Just being honest with you. If we're talking about street bud, then like it's a low cost ounce. But if we're talking about medical bud, then for the price that it is now, then yeah, it's worth that. I don't know if any of that made sense. It's honestly can't form a thought together, bro. I don't know what's going on. Looks 7.5 anyway, that's just what we're going to take away from that. The smell of the whole nugs is also a 7.5. It does smell medical, but I reckon that once I get it out of that bag into a clean jar, then that smell will fade away within a month, and it'll smell really good. The smell of it ground up, I don't like as much. I feel like I was getting quite a lot of mimosa on the first time I smelled it, obviously because I had mimosa in there before, but now that seems to have backed off a bit, and it is a little bit sickly sweet. Like, I don't know if I like it, so I'm just gonna leave the smell at a 7, just a straight 7. The taste I have to give a 2 because I don't believe that I could taste it at all. I cleaned my bubbler out before I made this video, and I think I was just tasting bubbler, if I'm honest with you. I really don't think I got any taste at all, so I'm gonna have to give it, I don't want to give it a 0 because I feel like that's harsh. The little bits that I did get through, it was hard to place, so I'm gonna give it a 2 for now. I was not impressed at all. Looks 7.5, smells 7, tastes 2, and effects I'm actually feeling pretty damn good right now. So the effects, I'm gonna give 7.75. My brain was pushing 8 then, but I don't feel like giving it an 8 right now, so I'm going to give it a 7.75 for the effects. I do feel good though. I'll give it that. I do feel good. As it stands, I think this is going to be a nighttime strain for me. I'm also going to try it in the daytime, see what happens, but I really do think it's going to be a nighttime strain. Just a 7. I think 7 is fair. For the price, it is definitely worth it as it stands right now, just from trying it a little bit. I think that I would probably get it again, but I can't say that I would get it again right now. I know I've just contradicted myself, but I can't say that right now. I do like it though. For my first impressions, I think 7's fair. It would be an 8 if there was some flavour, but there's just no flavour, and also it's very, very harsh. So, just a 7. 7 I think is good. I'm actually looking forward to vaping the rest of it, experimenting with how much or how little I need, daytime, nighttime. I'm excited about this one. I think it's going to be pretty good. So if you like this video, leave a like, leave me a comment telling me if you've tried Sugar Bomb Punch, what was your first impression of it? Did you like it? Did you not? Subscribe for more videos, stick around to see what I actually rate it when I've finished it for the full strain review. Peace.